Start meeting.
Good morning to all of you. Once again, welcome to our TREIS webinar classes, zoology classes. Have you seen this image? Yes. Here, digestive system, all the images, I think you know. Digestive system, circulatory system and respiratory system, muscle and skeletal system, reproductive system, and here excretory system, and then endocrine system. Yes, all the images directed towards the brain. What do you find by seeing this picture? You know that there is a connection between brain and digestive system. All of you know that it is the brain. Brain and digestive system and circulatory system and then respiratory system. In the same manner, all the systems connected to the brain. Why do they connect? Because all of us know that in our lower sections, you learned that brain is the important organ and it controls all the systems. For example, if you want to do vigorous exercise, what do you need? You need energy. How do you get energy? Through the food. So through the digestive system, you will get the food, that means digested food, and it has to be entered into the blood. Through the blood, it has to be reach all the cells of our body, and simultaneously through the respiratory system we need oxygen also. Through the respiratory system, oxygen also reach to each and every cell of our body. There the digested food material oxidized and release the energy. We use that energy to do the exercise. While doing exercise, we need this system. What about this system? It is the skeletal system, it is the muscular system. So we need this system for movement. So you are doing only one task, that is exercise. But how many systems has to involve? How many systems have to involve in that? So all of them, these four systems controlled by, coordinated by brain, isn't it? If and in a sequential manner, not only controlling, their actions should be in a sequential manner. Even that also controlled by our brain. Brain is the part of, all of you know that brain is the part of a nervous system, isn't it? Or neural system. Yes. Today our topic is neural control and coordination. How our functions or our organ systems are controlled by our neural control and coordination system. So the integrating network of the ultimate biocomputer. There is a tagline is there. What is that? Ultimate biocomputer. Who is that? Ultimate biocomputer. Ultimate means there is no other than that. It is the ultimatum. It is the end point. It reached the peak point. Till today, there is no more than that. At that point of time, we will use the ultimate. So ultimate biocomputer. Who is the ultimate biocomputer? Our brain is the ultimate biocomputer. Yes. Our brain is a part of a neural system or nervous system. What is nervous system? don't say that nervous system is feel nervousness. That is not the nervous system. Nervous system, in previous classes, you might have learned, you might have some knowledge about it. What do have the knowledge? Which kind of knowledge you might have? I thought that nervous system is collected the data, sensory parts or sensory nerves from internal environment and as well as external environment, and it integrate and analyze, coordinate and generate the responses through the motor system. So briefly we can say that this is the essence of the nervous system. You might have known it, I think. All of you know that, isn't it? The nervous system collects the information from the sensory parts from internal environment and external environment, and it integrate, analyze, coordinate at the center of it and generate the responses through the motor system. It is the synapse of the nervous system. So here nervous system controls and coordinate all the activities of the body. We know that it is quicker control system, quicker, fast control system when compared to endocrine system. Why do we compare with endocrine system? Because endocrine system also controlling system, one kind of controlling system, that is the neural control. Nervous system is neural control, whereas endocrine system is chemical control. Later we will discuss about it in other chapter. But it is also one controlling system. When compared to both systems, the neural system is quicker control system. Yes, both of them together work in a synchronized fashion. Yes, it cannot work its own. Both of them has to be synchronized, coordinated. Then only we are able to perform the functions in a proper way. To do proper way, to deliver the functions in a proper way, both the systems has to be synchronized, coordinated. Then only we are able to deliver. Coordination. Coordination is the process through which two or more organs interact and complement the functions of one another and to maintain homeostasis. Yes, coordination. Coordination is over. What is coordination? They have to interact and complement. Why do they interact and complement? Why do they coordinate? To maintain homeostasis. What is homeostasis? You might have learned about homeostasis in our lower sections. Homeostasis, a term introduced by W. Cannon, means the maintenance of constant internal environment. Maintenance of constant internal environment. What is that? Constant. There is no fluctuation. We have to maintain the internal environment constantly. Yes. The internal environment. What is internal environment? The internal environment in the body is the extracellular fluid. You might have heard of this word, extracellular fluid, in which the cells live. Otherwise, we can call it as interstitial fluid. Among the cells, out of the cell, not within the cell, out of the cell, there is a space between cell to cell that is called the space between the cell, two cells or among cells. The space is filled with the fluid, that is extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid. That extracellular fluid, that space or place is called internal environment. Yes. Now, Neural system is the important system. We know all of it, isn't it? Moreover, some people have the some doubt also. It is the complicated system, and it has more new words, and it is very complicated to understand. No, it is very easy. I am here to make it easy to understand. So neural system is made up of nervous tissue. Nervous tissue. Nervous tissue consisting which type of cells? The cells are neuron, and then what is that? Have you remember in your first year classes? Glial cells or neuroglia. Two kinds of cells together form the nervous tissue. Neuron and glial cells or neuroglia. Have you remember that neuroglia? Neuroglia consisting of types of cells. Yes, microglia, and then it is the microglia and ependymal cells, oligodendrocytes, astrocytes, satellite cells, and Schwann cells. All of them types of glial cells. These glial cells and neuron, both of them together form the nervous tissue. The nervous tissue is formed the neural system. So what is the difference between neuron and glial cells? We will find. Yes. Neuron, all of us know, these are conducting cells. Glial cells, these are supporting cells, nourish and protect the neurons. Neurons are excitable cells. Glial cells, non-excitable cells. How many neurons are present in our nervous system? Nearly 100 billion. 100 or maybe more than that, because I never count them. But billion, some billions of cells are present in the nervous system. So you are the billionaire regarding nerve cells, isn't it? Regarding neurons. And what about glial cells? 5 to 10 times more than neurons. So glial cells number is more than neuron. Not capable of mitosis. Mitosis means, you know it, mitotic division, isn't it? To increase the number of cells, they follow the mitosis. So neurons are not able to undergo mitosis or mitotic division. That's why it is the specific character of the neuron. In lower sections, you might have learned it. It is the specific character. There is no regenerating capacity. There is no mitosis. That's why each and every neuron is specialized one. It is unique one. There is no other. It is unique. Each and every neuron is. But glial cells are not like that. See, it is the image of the nervous tissue. Astrocytes and microglial cells, oligodendrites and ependymal cells, all the types of glial cells and neuron, they clubbed together and they have connected to each other so that it form the nervous tissue. Such a kind of tissue is present in our neural system. It is about the nervous tissue. So don't forget that neuron is a specialized cell and each and every neuron is unique. Moreover, one neuron is able to connect 10,000 other neurons. It is simultaneously. It has such a kind of capacity. That's why our brain is super and ultimate computer, isn't it? Ultimate biocomputer. Yes, human nervous system. It is in our lower sections also it is there. Human nervous system is divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system divided into as brain and spinal cord. So brain and spinal cord, both of them together form central nervous system. What about peripheral nervous system? Peripheral nervous system is consisting of cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Yes, human neural system. Nervous system develops from neuroectoderm. What is that? Neuroectoderm. You know that, just you recall, every organ of our body is derived from or formed by 3 germinal layers. What are those? Ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Have you remember? Yes. So nervous system develops from neuroectoderm. Now, the first part is central neural system. Central neural system is consisting of the brain and then spinal cord. Both of them together form the central neural system. And next, the second one is peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system, have you remember? Peripheral nervous system consisting of spinal nerves and cranial nerves. Spinal nerves and cranial nerves. Cranial nerves. Cranial nerves means the nerves derived from the brain. So these are the cranial nerves. And it is spinal cord. These nerves are derived from the spinal cord. So we call them as, all of them, call them as spinal nerves. So these nerves, cranial nerves and spinal nerves together form peripheral nervous system. Now we will talk about in a sequential manner. We will start with the central nervous system. In central nervous system, brain is the important and first part of the central nervous system. So brain. The location of the brain is here. This is lateral side and it is dorsal side, backside of our head. This is, it is the location of the brain and it has layers. We will see other slide. Yes. First, let us talk about brain. Brain is the site of information processing and control. The study of brain is called encephalogy. The study of brain is called encephalogy. It is protected in the cranial cavity. All of us know that this is the skull. That is the cranial cavity. Inside of it, we will call it as cranial cavity. In the cranial cavity, brain is situated and covered by 3 connective tissue membranes. The brain, for example, this is the brain. It is covered by 3 connective tissue membranes called cranial meninges. What are those cranial meninges? Dura mater. This is the outermost thick double layered. Here, just you double layered membrane. That is periosteal layer. Periosteal. So the name itself indicating that the layer is surface of the layer is inner surface of the bone. So for example, it is the skull or cranium. The layer is here. It is attached to the bone. That's why we call it as periosteal layer. And the next layer is meningeal layer of dura. So dura mater is double layered, periosteal layer and meningeal layer of dura. The second meninges is arachnoid matter. Arachnoid matter is a thin and webby. Arachnids means spiders. The spider, what does it? It creates the web. In web it lives. So that's why we call it as arachnoid matter, because it is a thin and webby structure. That webby structures are called trabeculate, and all of three of them are made up of connective tissue only, but dura matter is a tough one, that is fibrous, whereas arachnoid matter is collagen. The trabeculae is made up of collagen, that webby structures. And the third one and innermost layer is pia matter. Pia means soft, matter means mother. So how does mother protect her children? In the same manner, our pia matter also protect our soft and important and precious brain. The pia matter, it is thin, innermost meninx. Meninx is the singular form, meninges are the plural form. The pia matter is highly vascular, whereas arachnoid and dura matter non-vascular, but pia matter is vascular. Pia matter is separated from the arachnoid matter by the subarachnoid space. How does it form? We will see the picture. Cranial meninges. See here, this is the scalp. Scalp, skin. Yes, hair and then scalp. Next, skull, cranium box. After that, periosteal dura mater and meningeal dura mater. These two are the parts of the dura. And then arachnoid matter. This is the arachnoid matter. Next, these are the trabeculae, webby structures. This is the pia matter. In between pia and arachnoid, there is a space. This space is called subarachnoid space. And then here also one space is there actually. This is subdural space. Subdural space. Here, arachnoid membrane, some projection is there. It is projected into the dura membrane also. See here. They are called arachnoid villi. Later we will discuss. See this here. Here I want to show here one sinus. What is the meaning of the sinus? One space, empty space or cavity. We call it as a sinus. The dura membrane form that the dura membrane invaginated so that there is a space. That is called sinus, that is superior sagittal sinus. In this sinus, these arachnoid villi go into it. These are the cranial meninges. In sequential order, we can see the meninges. See, periosteal layer of dura, outer one. Meningeal layer of dura, inner one, 2 layers. Next, subdural space, arachnoid matter. Here, arachnoid matter. And then subarachnoid space, this is the space. And pia matter, it is pia matter. Inner brain substance. Brain substance consisting of cortex and medulla. These are the layers, meninges. It is the from upper side to inner side. This is the order. Next. Yes. Let us start with the brain. Now, what we have learned? Just brain, where does it located? It is located in the cranial cavity or skull box or bony box. Brain has covered by three meninges, and how did they arrange? Already we have discussed. Now inside the brain, this is the brain. What about this one? Here, brain has divided into three divisions. One is, so normally we call them as forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. But if you talk about scientific names, prosencephalon, mesencephalon and rhombencephalon. Prosencephalon, mesencephalon and rhombencephalon. Prosencephalon consisting of some parts. What are those? Olfactory bulb, cerebrum. Cerebrum is the biggest part of the forebrain, and diencephalon. Midbrain, diencephalon. Here you can find diencephalon. So here two parts are there, thalamus and hypothalamus. Later we will discuss in detail. Midbrain. Midbrain is consisting of, or mesencephalon is consisting of cerebral peduncles and corpora quadrigemina, tegmentum and tectum. Tectum also is there, tectum and tegmentum. These three parts are located in the mesencephalon. Next, hindbrain or rhombencephalon. Rhombencephalon consisting of cerebellum. Cerebellum, it is a little brain, and pons varoli. Pons, it is a bridge-like. Pons means bridge. Pons varoli, and then medulla oblongata. These are the parts of rhombencephalon. So we go into detailed study for each and every organ. It is the image, picture. Previously, just we have observed the flow chart. Here you can see the image. Forebrain, cerebrum. See the biggest part of the forebrain. Not only forebrain, brain itself. The biggest part of the brain is cerebrum. The entire part is cerebrum. This is, see how big and large. Next, thalamus and hypothalamus. These two are the parts of the diencephalon. Thalamus and hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Next, midbrain. It is midbrain. Hindbrain. These three parts together form the hindbrain or rhombencephalon. Pons, medulla oblongata, and then cerebellum, little brain. The three of them together called hindbrain or rhombencephalon. So midbrain and hindbrain together called as brainstem. So we can say, simply we can say two parts. One is forebrain, another one is brainstem. Brainstem is consisting of midbrain and hindbrain. Now, in broad way, we can talk about the functions of the brain. What are the functions? Homeostasis, regulation of internal environment, already we discussed, and emotions, you know, emotions, and movement control, sensory perception, memory, and cognition, higher thought and awareness, judgment, all those are controlled by or processed by, computed by our brain. We will discuss in detail, but physiological study of nerve cell is called neuronography. So already I told you that nerve cell is the specialized one. So to study the nerve cell, we have to go through into the neuronography. Okay, now let us discuss about some terms. Why do you need these terms? Because the brain is unique, Moreover, the brain is consisting of billions of neurons. Each neuron is a specialized one. That's why we need more sections. We cannot compare with the other organs like heart or kidney. If you take one section, we are able to see all the organs. But here we cannot see all the organs by one or two sections, or longitudinal or horizontal. We cannot observe all the parts of the brain. That's why we need more sections here. That's why there are some anatomical terms are there. We use the anatomical terms when we are talking about the brain. That's why you must be familiar with these words. Planes of the human brain. It is, what is this one? Frontal plane. You can call it as this is the frontal plane. And then horizontal plane. This is the horizontal plane. And then sagittal plane. This is it. This one is the sagittal plane. So you know it. What is that? Frontal plane or coronal plane, like this. But horizontal plane is like that. But this is the sagittal plane, two halves. Sagittal plane divides into has two halves. Here we can observe this is our face side, isn't it? Front side. This is back side. The front side we can call it as anterior side. So back side, posterior side. And here superior, above, superior. And here inferior, below. Not only these four sides, we have the rostral and caudal also. Rostral means frontal side. This is rostral, frontal side. Caudal means back side. When you go into the spinal cord, here we can use these terms, dorsal and ventral. So all the words you will cross. That's why what is the importance of those terms? I want to say that's why I have given this image. Have you followed? If you take brain, so we have to take the number of sections. Then only we are able to see the internal parts of our brain. See here very clear. It is the brain. If you take the frontal section, so it is anterior side. That means face side, anterior side. It is a posterior side, back side. If you take this section, this is called frontal section. The part will be like this. The section will be like this. Here, this is horizontal. If you take like this is the picture of horizontal section. In the same manner, here, sagittal, two halves. If you do the two halves like this is the picture of the two halves. And then here, when go to the spinal cord, dorsal and ventral, cross section here, the picture is like this. So now you are able to understand when I use the posterior side, anterior side, and superior side, and inferior side, or frontal side, okay, caudal side. When you talk about the spinal cord, dorsal and ventral. This is the dorsal side and it is the ventral side. Now let us discuss about each and every organ of brain. So we will start with the forebrain. Forebrain is consisting of the olfactory bulb, cerebrum, and then diencephalon. So we will start with the first one, olfactory bulb. What is olfactory bulb? The name itself is indicating that olfactory. Always olfactory is concerned with the smell, gustatory. Gustatory means detection of the smell, gustatory part. It is an extension of the nervous tissue of the brain that extends to the roof of the nasal cavity. See, this is the brain, extension of the nervous tissue. It is olfactory bulb. Where does it located? Inferior side of the, this is the cerebral hemisphere, inside. So inferior side of the cerebral hemisphere, and much smaller size in humans than other animals. Much. Why? I will give one example. For example, take the dog. Dog is able to detect the smell than powerfully than us. Yes. Do you accept it? Yes. That's why we use the dogs in detecting the criminals by using its smell detecting capacity, isn't it? That's why in our brain it is smaller size. That's why we are not have such a kind of capacity like as dog. Receive impulses pertaining to smell from the olfactory epithelium. These are the nerves. So this is bulb and olfactory tract, nasal cavity. I think you might have understood that. Where is the olfactory bulb and how does it work, and how the generates the nerves. This is about the olfactory bulb or gustatory part. The next, what is that? Cerebrum. Yes, the important one, the biggest part of the brain. If you see the brain in a real brain, we are able to see only the cerebrum, because the entire brain is occupied by the cerebrum. This is the part, cerebrum. Here we can see one groove. We will call that, but that groove is very deep groove. Deep grooves are called as fissures. So it is longitudinal. That's why we call it as longitudinal fissure. Longitudinal fissure divides the cerebrum into the left and right cerebral hemispheres. See, it is the longitudinal fissure. It divides the two cerebral hemispheres, right and left cerebral hemispheres. The two hemispheres, see here in this picture, you are able to see clearly. This is the longitudinal fissure. If you divide like this, it is one left cerebral hemisphere, it is right cerebral hemisphere. These two hemispheres, can we separate completely? If you do like this, no, because in inner side, there is a connection. This is one cerebral hemisphere, this is one cerebral hemisphere, but there is a connection. Here there is a connection like this. There is a connection. This connection is corpus callosum. The two hemispheres internally connected by transverse wide and flat bundle of white fibers, the biggest bundle. It is the biggest bundle, white fibers, beneath the cortex, called corpus callosum or callosal commissure. Why do we call it as a commissure? Later I will explain why do we call it as a commissure. When do we call the commissure? When do we call the tract? When do we call the association fibers? Like that, I will discuss later. Here, you are able to understand, I think. Longitudinal fissure make into two left and right, two cerebral hemispheres. In between there is a connection. The connection is made up of white fibers, bundle of white fibers. This is called corpus callosum. Here you can see very clearly, this is the right hemisphere, left hemisphere. It is the corpus callosum. If you enlarge it, zoom it like this, this is the corpus callosum. This is right hemisphere, left hemisphere. So brain is actually like this. This is the longitudinal fissure. If you do like this, this is the picture. Yes? Are you with me? This is the corpus callosum. Next, cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is the major part of the cerebrum. If you do this section, this is the image. It is gray matter. The color is different. Did you find? This is gray matter and it is white matter. This gray matter is called cerebral cortex. The surface of the cerebrum. Actually, this is the cerebrum, isn't it? This is the cerebrum. The cerebrum, the surface of the cerebrum. This is the surface of the cerebrum. This is called cerebral cortex. It is gray matter. Otherwise, we can call it as palladium. So palladium is 2.2 square meters. The size. The surface of the cerebral cortex shows many folds and grooves. Here, see, many grooves and folds or ridges and depressions. It is not a smooth surface. It has a number of folds and grooves. The folds are called gyri and grooves are called sulci. It is the sulci. The sulci is groove and gyri, the gyri is ridge, folding. That is gyri. Here I used that gray matter. What is gray matter? Gray. How do we get gray matter? You might have learned in your lower sections in your 10th class. Gray matter. Gray matter is made up of gray color. Gray matter means it has the gray color. All the do you remember the neuron structure? Yes, this is the neuron structure. Sorry. These are the dendrites. Yes, it is axon. It is cell body. These cell bodies together form the gray matter. Because this cell body is not covered by the myelin sheath. That's why it gives the gray color. Whereas axons, if the axons are covered by myelin sheath, it gives the white color. So you can imagine that our entire brain, the cytons are here, head of neuron, and axons are inside. That's why this matter is gray in color. This gray matter is called cortex. Cell bodies here, see. White matter is axons. It is a real brain. See, it is the real brain. Here you can clearly observe dark color. It is gray color. It is a gray color and it is a white color. Two cerebral hemispheres. Both cerebral hemispheres are connected by white flattened bundle. This is a corpus callosum. Yes. Cerebral cortex is made up of different types of nerve cells along with neuroglia. Don't forget, whenever you talk about the neuron, neuron is surrounded by neuroglia because it is the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is made up of two types of tissues. Don't forget that. Nervous tissue, if you talk about the nervous tissue, don't think it is the only neuron cells. No. neuron cells are present along with the neuroglia. Neuroglia is consisting of types of cells. The thickness also more, it has 4.5 centimeters thickness, but not uniform throughout. Already we discussed. See, it is not the uniform. Grooves and then folds. Grooves and folds. Yes. Why does it why does it have so much of thickness, 4.5 centimeters thickness? Because that cortex is made up of 6 layers. 6 layers of structures. The cerebral cortex is formed by 6 layers of structures. Okay. Next, functional areas of cerebral cortex. What are the functional areas? We can find out 3 types of areas. One is sensory area. Sensory area means we know it, receive and interpret. It is the sensory area. And motor area, it is motor area, control voluntary muscular movement. And association areas, these are the association areas. Carried out more complex function, integrative functions such as memory and communication. So far we have discussed about the structural areas in the cerebral cortex, but now we are talking about the functional areas of the cerebral cortex. These are the 3 types of functional areas. Later we will discuss in a other video, next video. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.